Hi, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm calling this Fall Friday. The weather is a little crisp in Texas, so
Mhm.
gotta love it for the hour. So this is episode 12, and we're super excited to be joined by Andrea and Pierce from Fülhaus, who just everything with AI design to helping you buy the products and get them to your house, right? So introduce yourselves, guys.
Thanks, Talia. So excited to be here and chatting with you. I mean, Pierce and I rarely get to do these things together, which is always so much more fun when we do.
I know. I'm excited
Uh,
that y'all both agreed.
yeah.
Everyone, they were like one or the other, and I was like, what about both?
Yeah, you get both. You rarely get both, but Talia.
Grateful.
So, Full House, we've been around for quite a while. We've been around since 2015, furnishing, hospitality, short-term rental, even, all kinds of commercial real estate, student housing to, common areas. And, in doing that, there was obviously an issue with the amount of products that are available on the market and then the way that you find this product,
Hmm.
right? So, with our own
Googling what you need isn't enough anymore.
so, based on our own frustrations with this process and how, behind a lot of the furniture industry is, we ended up thinking, well, what if you could just connect your Pinterest board and something could understand your Pinterest board or your inspiration for a space and then present you a result, a furniture package you can actually buy. And that's what we built with Ludwig. So it allows you to upload any image under the sun, anything that inspires you, and it finds all of your furniture for you at the click of a button. And
It's
Pierce,
I
is
don't
that
even remember, like, I didn't get the Pinterest part before, right? And I just like had these like bright ideas in my, like, you connect Pinterest board to it, mine to anything AI in life, and it could tell me things like this would be amazing. But yes, Pierce, our lead designer that we got on a phone call, right?
That's me. It's a lot of pressure here. Yes, I'm Pierce. Sorry, yeah. I feel like Andrea really said it all, and yeah, we I've been working with her alongside her the last 8 years. It's been a dream, and we're really proud of Ludwig, and I'm super excited to just kind of chat and really get to know the software and the tool.
Well, thank y'all so much for the introduction. This idea of when we were coming to the next episode, I started talking with Full House. I think it was a whole different level of not the webinar, right? And fall was coming and we was fall fashion and design. And I was like, what if we change this for the vacation rental space? Like everyone right now, it's the end of the year, right? So we're in Q4, you're looking at your numbers. How are you going to hit your revenue numbers for this year? And a lot of things that we're hearing from people is basic revenue management and listing distribution may not be enough, that we need to get into the properties. And what Hostiva and other companies we've seen is we've done like a thing where we're taking listing optimization, right? It's allowing AI to tell us, hey, like your reviews are stating this, but maybe you need to go in and upgrade some things in your area. And that's kind of, the whole flow of where it's now talking with Full House, right? Now is the time, right? Like fall, it's changed. The leaves are changing, the colors are changing. So is the palette of the inside of your house, right? So you're trying to hit your 2024 goals and figure out your 2025. Why not, what's an easy way with design, right? That we can move forward. And that's why we're here today. So let's chat a little bit more about like the importance of design and like attracting the guests and specifically in what we do, right? Because like I'm not saying just designing our own house and someone feeling comfortable, but in the vacation rental space and how people need to feel.
Yeah, there's so much to touch on there, but I mean, I also always come from like a very design standpoint. So I mean, like I feel like Andrea's got that sort of business
pragmatic?
background, and yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm very like, you should paint your walls and do but it's true, honestly, like from a design standpoint. I mean, we see a lot of like really big brands that are super brand standard. They're very specific and like they don't want to see a yellow in the room and they don't so it's important to really like narrow down what you're looking for in the space and sort of what you want to achieve. And that really helps to kind of guide. And that can be anything from, a demographic you want to hit. If you want it to be more of like a party scene, less of a party scene, maybe you're hitting up more of like retirees. That
Mhm.
really informs the look and also the use of the space.
I was
Um,
actually going to ask, do y'all have like, have y'all ever had any kind of reporting that would say like, this demographic likes this kind of space when they come in, or like what kind of design goes towards that? I could be
It,
area specific.
it's very geo specific,
that's
right?
it.
Like
Mhm.
you're very much kind of hitting that. But I would say that, at the end of the day, people shop with their eyes, right? And so same is true on like any listings that you're going to be listing your property on. Those photos really do have to reflect, they have to stand out, right? So like if you're going to spend some time and energy on, revamping your space or, injecting some new design aesthetics within it, get the right photo, right? Like get the right image. It's more than just like what you're putting in. It's also how you're staging it, how you're, actually photographing. So because we do everything down to like photos and staging, when we do
Mhm.
projects, we're doing the full install, the full process and everything A to Z. When we do photos and staging, we tell our photographers we do not want real estate shots. This isn't about getting your wide angle.
Mhm.
So you really have to hone in on the vignette. What is that optimal kind of crop for your space? Don't forget you're using this in mobile. So you also have to have,
Mhm.
portrait as much as landscape photos. So yeah, it's a
Stop
lot.
turning on overhead lighting in photos.
Yeah.
Lighting. Your real estate agent will tell you turn on all the lights,
Right.
right?
There's an aesthetic. People are not
Yes.
buying the house. They're coming stay in it for an alternate reality or vacation. That's how I look at vacation homes, right? It's like a home that I wish was mine, but it's not mine.
Yeah. You're coming in for a different experience. And so you want to allude to like if your home is like dark, lean
Mhm.
into cozy, lean into lights off and dim and warm lighting.
And that's what
So
I hear from a lot of people when you say
yeah,
like, hey, also be realistic, right? If it's a dark room and and it shows that it's a bright room, what is it if it's somebody walks in and it's like a dungeon? That completely the first step in, they walk in and the house isn't there. And same thing with you expanding your photos, right? People trying to make it look bigger than it actually appears, right? It's you know, love at first sight kind of situation. They see the photo and then they get there and it's like a blind date and it's not the same.
yeah.
What's your experience? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're very particular. I mean, Pierce, you can go into detail about how we, you know, kind of realize an aesthetic. But
Yeah, I mean, really, it's really like a lifestyle thing shot, right? Like it's really like you want to really
Lifestyle.
portray what it's going to be like to stay there, not necessarily, you know, like super minimalist. And like sometimes
Mhm.
you're trying to hit a look, but you're also just trying to hit functionality in the space within that
yeah,
within that market as well. I mean, it depends, obviously. Like, my Miami's and my Floridas and Californias are much different than like my New Yorks and Boston's, right?
It is
Um,
very different. And I think that also a point that we can touch on right here too is like, okay, you're thinking about it and you're like, all right, I have an aesthetic that's in my mind. And if you look at my Pinterest board, I can't afford it, right? So there's a whole nother limitation that's put on design, but can I actually get what I want for the cost? And so that's where I want to
answer yes. Again with Ludwig, we can help you do that.
exactly. And that's kind
Yeah.
of where, I wanted to kind of pivot this like more to Ludwig, right? So why are we here for design? We want to change up our houses and there's a reason why. Like it is science, right? It's math, it's science, it's feng shui. I had to Google how to spell that this morning. Very proud of myself with that one. But to change an area does not have to cost an arm and a leg. But if you want it to, it can. So giving the options. So let's kind of start like an introduction of Ludwig. And for the first time ever in a little bit, we're going to share actually what Ludwig does, because this is really one thing that Pierce told me, and I'm going to just put him on the spot for a second, that he was able to design a 6-bedroom house in 45 minutes for $9,000, right? And that's just insane. Like anyone, it's a minimum of $15,000 to even do like a 2-bedroom house,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
One bedroom. So
Yeah.
it's insane. So let's start with Ludwig and how it goes. And also, we want to talk about later, the fear like that people have with, AI and coming in and whose job could this replace or whose job could this help?
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Like us, just yeah, as far as like the budget, I'd have to be totally transparent in the design world is that is probably my biggest obstacle. I will design you out of a mud pit, but budget is always the issue, is always the obstacle. However, now with Ludwig, it's become so much easier. And usually as a rule of thumb, like what we tell clients and people inquiring is we usually will focus mostly on like beds, dining chairs, armchairs, sofas. Like those are going to be high traffic. Those are going to be used a lot and you don't want to skimp too much. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes budget does sort of reflect quality as well. So you just want to be careful there. It's totally attainable, but I also don't want you to be replacing everything every 2 months because that's just not,
I think the cost of the lifetime value of design really has to be put into play here, right?
yeah.
Because I mean, yes, if you're on a budget, right? You're on a budget and you're trying to get live and you're like, I need to do this right now. Or if you're trying to think, I don't want to do this again in 3 to 5 years, right? These are very, very important things. And beds, think of it. I always help you put yourself in the traveler's shoes, right? Or ask people around you, do you want to go lay on a bed that's creaking or kind of feels like you're about to fall through? Like that you feel like you're on air. But the high traffic areas. So that's
Yeah.
very important because it also helps with things like outside of like the main traffic things as well. So kind of like the whole home, right?
Everything you're looking for all at once faster. The only thing that I would say is that like it doesn't change lead times for furniture shipping. So,
No, like
it is what it is. But the time it takes to find everything you're looking for has just been slashed in like a multiple,
we haven't created the AI robots in the factory that are actually reading your mind and the design as we're
Yeah,
going, getting
exactly.
there, but we're not there yet. And
I
so
want to see I want to see a sofa being delivered by drone in the sky one
Yeah,
day. That's all.
exactly.
when pigs fly, this is advertising. I want to also make sure we talk about the fact too that like Ludwig and Fülhaus, right? While this is a tool, right, they still also are a full service option as well. So let's kind of go, before we go when we show the tool, we were having a very interesting conversation about like generative AI and like the ideas of what it's bringing to you and the examples like maybe we know like Dolly and Midjourney. This is not what Ludwig is. But additionally, if you're a designer, right, it can be a tool for you. But if you're just a short-term rental operator and you're, you know,
Yeah.
full-time day job by day and you're like, I can't think of it, like you don't have to. They will take this on for you as well.
Yeah, we've made it as easy as possible to meet the customer where they start their furnishing journey, right? So, like, you're starting with an idea in your head of what you want your space to look like. What a lot of generative tools, like we were talking about, like the Dollies and the Midjourneys and other ones that are out there, what they do is that they're asking you to describe your inspiration for your room using language, right? And they're language-based models that are ultimately going to generate an image that is, non-actionable as well.
Mhm.
While that's great for generating an idea for what you want your space to look like, it still doesn't take you to the end point, which is turning it into a reality. So for us, where we ended up kind of like not going down that path for multiple reasons, we decided that if we can just input that inspiration image into a source and then generate a furniture package you can actually buy, that is the fastest result that you can, find all your furniture.
Mhm.
And the thing that's really funny about a lot of these generative systems is that the language is a really poor way to describe design, right?
When
Because
there's so many different languages and so many different perceptions.
exactly. So what is modern to you is not necessarily modern to me. And so having to click on like, I'm looking for, farmhouse or traditional or like, what does that really mean? And in our experience doing this, we realize from our own clients when we're having these design discussions with them, what they're saying and what they're showing us are totally different things. So you cannot rely on language to actually be a good way to depict a design. It has to really come from image sources. Just want to be like, do not expect a rendered version of a room from Ludwig. You're getting a procurement list and the ability to design the space. And the other piece of the puzzle is, well, I was going to say budget, but I think we've already that. But that we also do the full service, as you were saying, right? So you can choose two paths. You can do it yourself, go online. It starts at $8. You can just go in and try it. Or you can call us and let us just take it all off your plate for you. And we in turn use Ludwig to find everything in a matter of minutes. So
Right.
so either path is great. And we kind of are looking to service everybody in the space, whatever your budget
I
is.
just love that option because it gives you that ability. Like if you're a designer and you're like, hey, I could use extra time, right? Maybe this could help me get to that. Or you're just someone that was like, I really kind of, I want to do design. It can give you an opportunity. Someone do it for me. Like
Our team has worked with like companies before where they have a design arm, they have a design team, and we collaborate with them to sort of like source for them and find. We love that, and that's my goal too, is to like bring designers a little bit more together.
bring all the designers together.
Yeah,
Do you
we
want to
all.
show the tool a little bit?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you have the sharing options? You should.
Yeah.
I do.
I can. Would you like to?
Sure.
We have a more curated collection. So we each have our own portals. And so you can see like mine is like pink flamingos and Pierce's like nicely designed spaces. There you go.
This is amazing. Yeah, I could see that. This is the brains and the beauty of Full House, everybody.
Excellent.
Here's
Yeah.
Andrea.
So once you sort of log in and sign up, you're brought to what's called the dashboard here. So these are basically all properties, right? So this is sort of how you see all of your projects. I'm going to start a new project here. I'm going to design with AI. Here you'll input your address for shipping calculations and sort of geotagging the product. And then you have the list of sort of add-ons and services that Andrea just went over. I don't know if we covered all of these. So turnkey, so we do it all. We can take it off your plate, full service. It's everything from floor plan analysis to a full design presentation. And then obviously consolidated delivery, all shipped at once, all delivered at once to site. And then we also offer staging and photography.
I love the staging and photography on there. I feel like that's a solution of this I don't want to miss, right? Because I think a lot of people get excited buying things and ordering things, and the packages come to their door and they don't know what to do next.
When we also say consolidated delivery, because it is multiple sources of multiple suppliers, unless you're going to be at the location to receive this product all day, every day for like, 2 to 3 weeks, then definitely you'd want consolidated delivery where we would receive everything and we can ship it to you in one, sort of delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, of course, you can go on with services with installation and photos and staging.
That makes sense too. Yeah, that's great. Then not having it all coming in one by one. Then you have to store it, right? Before you put it all together. You can have a plan, make a plan.
It's a lot of product. The average, number of products that goes into like a unit, which is not even a single family home, is around 85, right? So if you're going to be receiving 85 boxes and maybe more because multiple boxes for things, then are you prepared to be full-time like a receiving agent, So that's definitely tricky.
It's another job to add to your property management roster.
Yeah, exactly. So just really quickly while we were chatting, so I selected my property size. So it was either single family home, or it was either a room, a single family home, and then multifamily is coming soon, but we can handle it internally. So if you are multifamily and you need, we can do it, no problem. And then from there, it asks you which room you want to start with. I chose living room. So it's going to prompt you here. So now Ludwig is parsing through our vendors, all of our data.
One of my favorite things with AI is to hit go and just wait for it to come up with everything.
I find people's expectations with speed have changed entirely online. Mm-hmm. It's going through, all of the data and all of the universe.
So from here, so this is the recommendation it gives. Obviously, it's picking up on, a lot of the woods in there, a lot of the round shapes it's seeing. So from here, it drops it onto a canvas. This is completely customizable. So I do like this chair. I'll probably use that as a jumping off point. I don't mind this coffee table. This acrylic wall of rough wood, raw wood, I'm a little less into. So you have all of your editing options per product. So here you can swap, you can get information on your product, and then you can actually edit the image of the product. So you have everything from duplicating the object, the product, changing the image, depending on the view you want to see. Remove background is amazing. So everything's in like a PNG form. You can crop and then obviously layer it differently and switch it around. On the information page, you're going to get all of the photos. You're going to get any descriptions of that piece, as well as dimensions, materials, and the colors. So this is super helpful and really great.
This is super cool.
So from here, I'm going to switch this out. I don't like the side table, so I am going to switch it. It's going to take this image again of the product and suggest other likely pieces that are similar to that. So these are Ludwig recommended. If you go over to the right here, you'll see all side tables. That's our library. So this is just like the full library of side tables and everything. So from here, again, you have a bunch of filtering capabilities from availability to if you have specific sizes you need to meet. These are really helpful for like rugs, sometimes like TV media stands, like things like that are kind of specific. You can filter a price point.
Budget.
Yeah, exactly. And then here I like to also do price low to high and just kind of filter like that, or you can do high to low, depending on your budget.
Has anyone ever sorted high to low?
I would also love to know that. and I would like to meet you and work with
Yes,
you.
let's work together.
Like if you are watching this at any point, like, and it
Exactly.
could be a year later and you sort high to low, message one of us. Because I was
Exactly.
literally about to think,
Yeah.
oh, how cool. We both do low to high.
I'm gonna start just targeting people who sort high to low in anything.
I really love this because I mean on many levels, right? I mean, one, you have the idea of you want. You could choose what you want. You're like, I don't like one thing. And instead of just taking that image, maybe loading it into Google image search, even if you can figure out how to do that, because that's not always easy
Right.
to do, and then going find the different vendors. And I find for myself and a lot of people, there's so many options today, like even reading the reviews sometimes, like you need the person that, like, the company you buy for has to be the one you trust, right? Because you're like, there's so many options, what's real and what's not.
Yeah,
True.
and that's the thing that's, when we're ordering, when you're working through this, is that we vetted all of these suppliers. We work directly with all of these suppliers. We've ordered product from them for years, and we've removed the ones that are not reliable. We've, been able to vet a lot of this and curate a lot of this product, which is very different to, not knowing where you're going to for your different sources, right?
Who is the typical client that you think would embrace Ludwig, what it is today in Fülhaus for you guys that y'all are looking for?
So it's pretty varied at this stage. We generally work with first time rental owners, managers, so like usually their first time, they're going to call us and figure out, okay, can I use someone else? And then they're going to go off and do it themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to call us the second time. And they're going to be like, okay, that was a mistake. Now can you do all of the things that I have? And that's usually when we come in and help. But even when people are on their solo journey, we say at least use the tool because it'll save you a bunch of
Yeah.
time.
I tell
Um,
the best advice I like to get anyone in this industry, or I mean, really any industry out there, as vendors, as softwares, as providers, as what we do, like you should do your research, right? You should go look out there, and if there is a tool that's going to give you some kind of access, that's going to help you and let you test it out and see if it works for you, right? Those are the best options because no two products are going to work well, but test things.
and Pierce, I would say, like, while we're chatting, if you want to go to like some of the samples that we have so people can
I was
see.
about to, I was like, I could watch Pierce design
Right?
behind a
It's
webinar all day. I think we have something to go with here,
I
guys.
think this is like a live channel we need to start
so funny. So
designing.
just really quickly, so just you can see here, add room to cart. It's calculating as you're deleting, as you're adding. So you are managing your budget here per room. If you add to cart, you'll see everything in your cart here. You can view your item list, but I'll just go to cart to show you because it's similar to the item list. It just shows you.
It's when you're demoing that something has.
I'll try just item list then.
I can edit that part for those of you who are like, thank you for watching the raw version.
So this is everything that's in the room. It tells you if it's ready to ship. You can, remove it from here, still read the details, all of that kind of thing, and then add either individual pieces or the whole unit to cart. And then you just check out and go.
Why are end tables so much more expensive than like other things sometimes? One thing I've noticed through this.
Well, this is a very fancy one.
Right.
This is a high to low situation.
This is a brass high to low situation. We're going really excited in our fall fashion today. Like at the top of our budget, we haven't gone through all the money yet. This has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I feel like I really like anyone in our space or any space in design, really could benefit from this. And the idea, right, is to show that, everything in our space, no matter what you're buying, is relationship building, right? And so the team at Fülhaus, team at Hostiva, the team in vacation rentals, all, our support team, we're here to try to help each other. No two properties are alike, so no two situations are alike. So what would you like to leave our listeners with today, and how can they contact you guys if they'd like to learn more?
So Pierce's phone number is 514.
Please call me.
No, but really, actually call us because, this is all a very new technology and we just want to hear from people. And just beyond that, we're here to service and furnish and, bring good design to the forefront of the vacation rental, landscape. So, call us Andrea at fülhaus.com. And that is Andria, to complicate things. And it's Fulhaus to make things simple. Right?
I will make sure to check the subtitles and make sure that's correct on there. And I'd like to also echo that part of, AI right now and any software where you said like, Hostiva, we've been, AI forward, which is, kind of why we're here today and everything. But we want feedback. I'd love for you to buy my product and software. Absolutely. But more than anything, I want more eyes on anything and feedback and real-time use stories, because I think we can all attest that we work cross-functionally with tech teams. To get a tech team to build something to better a use scenario, we need a user story, and we need hundreds of user stories, and it just makes it better.
I am desperate to talk to designers. Like I'm dying to just get in a room with designers and just see how they like the tool, what works, what doesn't, and just like sort of talk to them about it. And how, I mean, obviously too, like the conversation or the narrative sometimes is like AI is replacing us as designers and creative. Yeah, sometimes people get very like defensive when we're at shows, or like I've had some pretty interesting interactions at some conferences and whatnot. But I kind of walked them through, and I explained, I said, like, look, like this isn't doing the job for you. It's getting you like 80-90% there, like a starting off point. And it's also just consolidating everything. So this is now like, I don't have to manage 300 passwords for my vendor logins and go in and do all of that. I don't need to track like 50 different parcels and wait, for 85 different deliveries over 4 or 5 weeks and all of that stuff. It's like, it's simplified, and it's a tool to really help. Well, and I'm excited for freelancers to be able to take on more projects. Sometimes they're stuck on one project,
more projects, yes,
and then it's like it's billable hours, and it's like take on more projects and have that constant cash flow, and have
and it's
that.
having more ideas, right? And I think I told you guys this yesterday, and I don't want to get like sued by whoever came up with this like thing. So I'm going to say I saw it somewhere, but it lives in my head every day. Like AI is not going to replace anybody, but a person using AI could replace you, right? And to an extent, like I preach this all the time. Like, I mean, like I just could not figure out how to do one thing on a WordPress blog yesterday. And instead of going to, find a developer and wasting his time, I was like, maybe, right? But it did help. I figured it out. So it's just ways to help you. Go on.
No,
Yes.
there's also like certain nuances that just like AI doesn't pick up. Like, for example, like a bench at the foot of a bed. Like a designer needs to be able to curate that stuff and be able, you're still very much designing and being able to pitch these beautiful designs and ideas that are functional to your client.
Let it do the hard work for you.
Exactly.
Let it handle your internal battles.
let you be creative again. That's all. It's like designers need to be creative again.
Yeah, and spending more time doing that rather than cross-referencing data and measurements and prices and totals. And, it's a data time suck. And so we've just kind of found a way to simplify that for us. And we want other people to try it out and let us know if it's helped them. And then what more do you want to see in terms of, what's the future? How do we want it to evolve? Looking forward to hearing from your listeners and anyone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. Anyone who's been listening, and again, I'm just gonna put it out there. If you want to talk to any one of us, all three of us are very open to chat with you about any of this and more. And stay tuned for more from Hostiva and Fülhaus, and happy fall.
Thank you.